Alright, so today we're going to look at two-step rearrangements where we have to isolate through addition or subtraction and then divide. So we break this up basically into two small one-step problems. Do not overcomplicate it and think it's that much more. If you do the one steps, you can do this. You just have to know the order to do them in. So always look at what we're doing. So example 1, we want to make x the subject. I'm looking for x equals at the end. Okay? So that means I am going to look at this side and try and see what I have to do. Okay? So what I'm going to actually do is just say, hey, I'm looking at this side. So what do I have to leave on that side? I have to leave this 2x. I have to leave this 2x alone. How do I do that? I subtract that 2y from there. So I subtract it from here. I'll be left with 2x equals 8 minus 2y. Now I just want to be left with x, right? So I have this 2x. Well, how do I get rid of that 2? I have to divide by that 2, right? So I can divide my side over here by 2. I'll be x equal, well, and I'll take this one further and just say that this is equal to, well, 8 divided by 2. I'll just break it up, right? You can always break up fractions as long as you do this. So we're going to get 8 over 2 is 4 minus y. So always try and simplify, because that's what textbooks and anybody who asks you will be looking for, is a simplified answer. So making y the subject for 6q plus 3y equals 18p. Well, we are looking at y, so I want to leave this y over here and move this positive 6q. So I have to subtract 6q, subtract 6q. We can rewrite that as 3y equals 18p minus 6q. And then we can simply divide by our new whatever coefficients are. And so I say coefficients loosely because it could be a mix of variables and numbers. Here it is just 3. So we divide the right side by 3. And we can write y equals, well, I can break that up into 18 over 3 minus 6q over 3. Right? So that's going to simplify to 6p minus 2q. Now, to make z the subject for this, it looks really scary, but like I said, do not overcomplicate it. We're doing the same thing. Just because there's more variables, it hasn't changed. So we're looking at here, and we want to leave this one alone, right? So that means we have to subtract 4xy squared. So we subtract 4xy squared, and we can rewrite this as 8x cubed minus 4xy squared. That's equal to 8xz. So now I'm just going to point out one thing. We have x's here, an x here, and an x here. So I am just going to take out an x out of each term. You can always do this and just change the indice to 1 lower, right? Now, we have to get z by itself, so we have to divide by 8. You could have divided by that x as well, but this, I've sometimes like showing people that because it is much nicer to visualize than just like, oh, I have to divide by this x. So 8 over 8 is 1, so we just left with x squared, and then we have 4 over minus 4 over 8, so that is really 1/2, so y squared over 2, that equals z. So once again, last step we do is write z equals x squared minus y squared divided by 2.